a Dredfunn original production. Please sit back and enjoy.
Hey guys, Dredfunn here with another one of my how-to videos. Basically, I am going to teach you how to draw Pikachu from Pokemon. And I'm going to do that using my pencil, some ink, and I have a bit of tea. Yeah, tea, the type of stuff you drink, orange Pico. So that's what we're going to use as the basis for our paint. So here we go. I'm just going to lay out a light pencil with Pikachu. You know, I got a nice little picture off to the side of what he looks like. I'm just going to sort of freehand this. Not too dark. Not so concerned about getting it perfect. Like I said, this is just a drawing you guys can try at home. Do that with the ears. Sort of bring this around here. He's got that. Got an eyeball here, eyeball there. Like I said, again, I'm not doing everything very dark. Just sort of lightly pasting it in there with my pencil. You know, he's got a pretty simple shape to his body. I mean, Pikachu's not too complicated. He's got a whole whack of fingers here. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this other hand up like it is in the picture. And we're going to throw another whole whack of hands. He's just sort of waving to you there. He's kind of got a sort of a dumpy squirrel body. Like I said, a lot of the Pokemon are, well, they're not really based on real life animals, but I mean, they get a lot of inspiration from them, I imagine. And Pikachu is kind of, like I said, it's a mouse thing squirrel, so there we go. I pretty much have it. He's got some cheeks going on here. I already don't like the placement of my nose, so I'm going to get my trusty pencil out here, or my eraser. We're going to put the nose up a little higher. And the mouth. There we go. That looks a little better. It's kind of got a simple mouth there. He's not very complicated. And then we're going to do the tail. He's got a sort of ziggy-zag tail because his Pokemon power is, of course, electricity. He will zap your butt. That's what he will do. So there we go. Already also noticed something I don't like. I'm going to make the ears a little bigger. Like I said, when you're not really doing any kind of measurements and just sort of laying out a drawing, you know, you can change things up. I like to switch that up a bit there. Alright, and I think we're good to go. That makes me happy. So I'm just going to break out one of my pens here. I'm going to use a Micron or a Micron 05. It's a waterproof ink. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to double up this tape here because I find it better to tape both sides down. And we're going to just bang, color or darken up those ears. And again, using a nice full stroke. I mean, you can go back and forth. I've spent years doing it in that way, but I find that this just sort of saves a bit of time. We're going to put that one there. And then I'm going to do the hand in here. Like I said, he is a chubby like little squirrel. So don't be scared to make those arms pudgy. And he does have 5 digits on his hand, at least in the drawing or the reference material I'm using. Sort of nice little chubby cheek. Again, another chubby arm. He's got a thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the feet. He's got 3 digits on his feet. That was a terrible foot. Oh well, can't hit it out of the park every time. I do spend a lot of time teaching kids at the YMCA where I work how to draw, and one of my favorite sayings is you can't really make a mistake. I mean, they're learning experiences, and that is true. I'll get the tail in, make sure we get that. Now, one thing I'm going to not do is I'm not going to actually, this little brown part of the tail here where it sort of comes up, I'm not actually going to go in and detail that. I'm actually going to switch to a number 3, or a 03. It's a slightly smaller pen. Go ahead and boop. He's got a nice white part there. We're going to darken that all up. And again, the same with this eye. Now, already I would have preferred to make the eye whites part a little bigger, but oh well. You know what? Like I said, this is just a fun little drawing. I hope you guys join me and enjoy doing this. Said sometimes I run out of things to say. Not very articulate when I do my drawings. But anyways, there we go. We've got my Pikachu, or our Pikachu. I'm going to use my eraser here. This is just a standard clay-like eraser. I find they're better at picking up the graphite and leaving behind more of the ink. And plus I use it a lot in my pencil sketching. So there we go. We got Pikachu. I'm going to move this in a bit more. And now we're going to paint with some tea. When you're painting with tea, what I have learned is you must be patient. So we got Pikachu. I got a little Simmons brush here. And I'm going ahead and I'm going to put in the first coat. Like I said, I got a little Play-Doh jar here. And boop, boop, boop. It's very light. It's not going to be a very dark color, but then again, Pikachu himself is not very dark. So he's more of a yellow Pokemon. Basically everything is going to get colored in this layer. What I'm going to do is you then have to let it dry. Let it dry fully. Unlike using watercolor paint or any other kind of paint, using this, I imagine it's because it's got a high water concentration or water content. But if you want to go in and use that, do the single cell type coloring that Pokemon is noted for, that anime style where, like, you know, it's only certain levels. Like, I'll actually show you here. We use this as a work in progress, or a, what's that Phil Dunphy from Modern Family says, a teaching moment. So I'll use that as a teaching moment. As I said, it's a very faint. I'm using watercolor paper. It's treated so it can handle this stuff. So there we go. We got our first layer down. Now I'll show you in the Pikachu. I'm going to bring this in here. You'll see with these single cells like in around here, it's not going to work. If I go in and put this extra T down here, you see what happens? It's not really going to sell it up. So, or it's not going to be a hard line. So what I do, and what I've learned to do with doing this with the kids at the daycare or the after school program I work at, is we're going to let it dry. And I will keep filming this through, and once it's dried off, we will continue onward. Alright guys, hey, yeah, so we fast forward in time, still in the same video, but I've let my Pikachu tea painting dry. So this is all dry, this tea part. I left it sit overnight, and now I'm just going to add some more of my tea. Again, the key when painting with tea, or at least the key I've found out so far, is layers. You need lots of layers. I'm going to switch to a slightly thinner brush. This is a fine liner. One of those Simply Simmons, my preferred brand. I'm going to stir this up, and again, we're going to be doing more. I got a lot of cats, so I got a little bit of cat hair, and if you guys hear my heater on in the background, I live in Canada, and right now it's like minus 37 or minus 40 with the wind chill, so that's darn cold. So yeah, I'm going to add a little bit to the cheek here. This is going to be one of those spots that I'm going to have to darken numerous times, because when you're using this tea, It does take a lot. You can steep it more. I tried an experiment with the kids at the after school program, and we put 6 different containers with different amounts of tea. If you end up finding that you got a little bit too much tea on there, you can always, just I got a little cloth off to the side here, and I'm just pulling some of the tea out. There we go. Like I said, this is a single cell, or not single cell, but it's a cell animation coloring. I got tea all over this picture, but you can see, like especially right in here, simple little lines that I'm going to, or simple little highlights I'm going to add now. First, I'm going to start with the ear up here, and we're going to add a little bit of color there. Like I said, this is going to be one of those things that I'm going to have to do quite a few times because it takes a fair bit to get the tea to darken. As I was trying to say, is we steeped one container with 2 bags of tea overnight. We steeped another container with 4 bags of tea overnight. We did a third one with 6, and then I did the same thing with green tea. And what I found was it doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm thinking if you want the stuff darker, you might have to let it sit for a prolonged period and have some of the liquid, the water, evaporate, and it'll leave like a kind of a darker tea. So I'm going to switch to a bigger one here, just a bigger brush, so I can get more tea on here. You'll see, it does darken it up a little bit. The one thing that I found that is really good when using tea is it doesn't tend to, I can load up a little bit more in here, and it'll just add to the darkening of it. Okay, and we're switching back to my smaller brush here. I'm going to do the tongue. Basically anywhere I see that there's another little bit of, like I said, shading. He's got a little divot under his chin. Not much, but there we go. Got a little divot under the armpit. The Pikachu pit. There you go. That's another. That'll be like maybe somebody can open that up. The Pikachu pit, place where you can get Pikachu flavored drinks and stuff like that. Well, I don't know if you can get Pikachu flavor. I mean, like it's not a real animal. If it was a real animal, would you really want a Pikachu flavored drink? What I'm trying to get at is a Pikachu inspired drink. Maybe a nice lemonade with some ice and cherries or something to denote the red cheeks. I don't know. Anyways, like I said, I'm trying to be as entertaining as possible while doing this, but I tend to be a quiet fellow who listens to stuff. I know I've said it over and over again, but that is the truth. Alright, there we go. That's pretty much it for the secondary color. I'm just going to add a bit more tea onto the tail. Like I said, it sort of blobs up, and then it'll absorb into the underlayer of tea that I've already put down. One thing we got to be careful about is I got to let it sit. So that's actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, even though it's bloody cold in my garage where I do my drawing. This turned out pretty good. Not bad. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to do a few touch-ups and add another layer. And another, well, I'm going to wait a few hours, let it dry. And we'll keep going. This will all be one video, so stay tuned. Alright, well, we've let this dry another 6 hours, so we have fast forward in time. This will be the third layer of tea that I'm going to add to Mr. Pikachu here of the Pokemon world. So again, I'm going to use my thin brush. I don't have to do much. I'm going to add a little bit of this tea color to his cheeks again, just to make it a little bit darker. Like I said, each subsequent layer you add will make it darker. Mind you, it doesn't get super dark, so that's why I brought in like the inks and stuff. Just going to color his cheek again. We're going to add a little bit to this here, his tongue, I know it looks light going on, but it will darken. Now the hardest part, the part I've dreaded, is adding a little bit to the tail here. I suspect I might have to actually use a pencil crayon of some kind to get this to be dark enough. One of those drawbacks, but you never know. Just going to try to wing it. See if I can add a fair bit to it there so it'll stand out. Yeah, a little touchy. Said I've never really painted with tea before, just with some of the kids at the after school program. Alright, and just going to add another layer right to the ear here and let that dry. And you know what? Pretty happy with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and use my thicker brush, and I'm going to do a little shading underneath his legs here to give him the illusion of a shadow. Kind of go like this. Be careful not to get too much in there. How do I like painting with tea? I don't mind it. It's not bad. I'm learning a lot as we go along. And I figure, you know, Pikachu is a nice, easy, sort of simple drawing that I can do fast and show you guys. I'm going to do a little bit of shading for the tail too. Not much, just a bit. There we go, I'm happy with that. Not bad. Alright, cool. Now, what you want to also do every time you do a drawing like this is you want to sign your drawing once you're done. I get myself a pen right down here. I'm going to put my signature. My name is Fred Dunn, but I go by the name Dredfunn here on YouTube. And I'll put down 2016. Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys joined in at home. And if you did, please, I'd love if you guys contacted me on my Dredfunn Facebook page, and you can upload any images of the drawings that you've done and let me check them out. I'll post them up. And anyways, I hope you guys like this. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my time-lapse videos. Dredfunn out.
This has been a Dredfunn.com production. Thanks for watching.